Good day, good day, good day. This is God Says Ministries, the House of Fire, and I am Professor Prophet Tavis. Well, in this moment. So what the video is called today is called the Atheist Dilemma. The Atheist Dilemma. You see, the Word God says, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. He was in the beginning with God. All things were made through him, and without him nothing was made that was made. So we have the atheist dilemma. Now, I'm not really a professor, as you know, but today we are going to be professor. So the atheist says, in the beginning, there was nothing. In the beginning, there was nothing. Now I was going to write the word nothing on the piece of paper, but that would be something. The word nothing would be something. But in the beginning, according to the atheist, there was nothing. And nothing exploded. In the beginning with God, in the beginning was the Word. So the Word was before the beginning. The Word was before the beginning, because in the beginning was the Word. The Word was there already. So this means that God is outside of time. He's not in time. He's outside of time. So if we had a void of nothing hovering where God lived, and then God decided to fill that nothing with time, because in the beginning, time came first. Time came first in the beginning. But in the beginning, there was nothing. Nothing came first. Nothing came first. So the atheist has a dilemma. He has a dilemma because in the beginning was the Word. The Word was there before the beginning. In this beginning, there was nothing. In fact, I shouldn't even have this piece of paper here because there was nothing. This piece of paper is still something. Even if I wrote nothing on it, that would be something still. So nothing exploded in nothing. Nothing exploded in nothing. Because in the beginning, there wasn't a beginning. There wasn't time. Only when the explosion happened did time suddenly appear. There was a beginning. Before that, there was nothing. And then we had a beginning, an explosion, and time appeared. So you can go from galaxy to galaxy and galaxy, and all the galaxies have their time, or in time. The scales of time. You could say millions of years, you could say thousands of years. One day is 1,000 days to God, 1,000 days is one day. But in the beginning, according to the atheist, there was nothing. And nothing exploded. Then they say to me, that the earth was void. God tells me the earth was void too, of anything. The atheistic explanation to life is that it rained on the earth for millions of years. So, okay, nothing exploded, nothing formed something, the earth, then something got rained on out of nothing that magically created water to rain on the earth for millions of years, and after the millions and millions and millions of years, the rock that came from nothing, melted. The rock came from nothing and melted and came alive. It came alive. Now, this dude has got 2 eyeballs. So, this nothing that blew up and created a rock out of nothing, and then out of nothing, rain came along and rained on the earth. And after millions of years, the earth's ground, rock, came alive. And evolution started from there. So, what came alive? What creature came alive? You see, everything that comes alive has got to eat. So, what is the creature that came from nothing on a rock that came from nothing, where it rained from nothing, and then what creature came alive? And what did the creature evolve first? Was it an eyeball floating around in soup? Or was it a mouth floating around in soup? Because it came alive somehow. So, what did it need to know to come alive? Did it need to know it needed an eyeball or eyeballs, a mouth to eat or breathe? How did this creature that came out of rock, nothingness, that came out of rock, nothingness, find life? How did it know it had life? How did it know it needed eyeballs, a mouth, perhaps a nose, some arms and legs, a heart, a beating heart? I mean, how did it survive? Did it produce a mouth first? Was it all mouth? And it just ate the mouth next to it to survive? Did it have eyeballs to see the mouth next to it? Did it have a heart? I mean, it needed to survive somehow. So it came to life. Did it have a brain? Was it a brain first? And then it thought, I need to eat to survive. And this all came from nothing. Huh? It exploded. And then the earth was there, a big rock. And then rain came from where? Out of explosion. Rain came from where? Out of an explosion. Okay, so it rained on the rock. And the rock turned to soup. And the soup came alive. And we had Bob with one eyeball. Or one mouth. Or maybe it was just a brain. But how did he survive? I mean, even the COVID-19 virus needs an environment, right, for it to survive. It needs to feed on something. It needs to feed on you. If it's too long out of that environment, it just dies. It just dies. So the atheist dilemma is nothing exploded from nothing, in nothing, and then out of nothing, everything was thrown out into the universe, which was not there because there was nothing. You know, the vacuum of space is something. The vacuum of space is something. It's not nothing. So this was thrown out into nothing, and the nothing became the vacuum of space, and all the universes and everything fell perfectly in line in their correct time. Every star, every moon, in their correct time, revolving around each other on a path through a universe, perfectly timed in time, because you can go back in time and predict where it's going to be in future. But it all came from nothing. Nothing that exploded in nothing. As I said, space, a vacuum, is still something. But nothing exploded in nothing, and nothing, when it exploded, created space and time, and then nothing itself became planets and the earth. Then out of nothing, the earth was rained on. Out of explosion, which water evaporates from, out of explosion, the earth was rained on. So water found our earth in the midst of the entire universe, out of nothing, and rained on it for millions of years, which formed the atmosphere around us. And then the rock melted, and out jumped Bob the Blob, out of the soup. With what? Was he a brain? Or was he an eyeball? Life came and created what? A mouth, two eyeballs, a stomach, digestive system. It came alive. You just said life came. It came alive. So now it's got to be able to see somehow, whether it's sonar or eyeballs, a mouth to eat, a digestive system to digest what it's eating, a heart and a brain to know what it's doing. Don't know whether it had legs or not, but it had to move somehow. The tail was swimming along with the tail. And it found something else to eat. Maybe since it was born out of a rock, maybe it ate rocks. or maybe it ate its brother. But eating your brother would end up destroying the whole life system. It's like eating yourself. So, we have nothing. Came out of nothing. Nothing exploded in nothing. Nothing exploded in nothing. Created something that it was in, vacuum space. Then it itself fell perfectly in line with all the other nothings. And time can tell us that if we go back thousands of years, exactly where the planets were then and where they're going to be. So it fell perfectly in its groove. And then one of them, called our sun, is a big fireball in a vacuum where there's no oxygen that burns continuously, that is vital for our earth, for growth and survival and life, just happened to line up with the earth that we're on. A perfect distance away that we don't fry, and not too far away that we don't freeze, just the right distance away in time and space that we don't cook and fry to death, and not too far away that we don't freeze to death. It just applies our daytime and our nighttime, and we still have lights for the stars and the moon that it reflects off on. But nothing was in nothing, then nothing exploded, creating what it was in, the vacuum of space, because the vacuum of space is something, and then parts of that nothing lined up perfectly with the correct distance away, so the gravitational pull doesn't interfere and pull a planet into Earth, and the sun is perfectly away that it doesn't cook us, or not too far away that we don't freeze. The dilemma. How did Bob start? Was he just a mouth? Or was he a brain? How did he know he needed a digestive system, a heart? As I said, the COVID-19 is a perfect environment to thrive, to live, and to eat. Eats you. It eats you. So it needs to live in an environment. Outside of the environment, it's dead. Not very long and it's dead. So how did Bob the Blob, decide which he was going to evolve first? And how did he decide he was going to evolve something without a brain to start the involvement? Without the thought to start it. It just, hey, there's Bob the Blob. He was just there. One day he was soup, and the next day he was there. Atheist Dilemma. No dilemma here. In the beginning was the Word. So the Word was before the beginning. In the beginning was the Word. The Word was there already. In the beginning, it was there already. And the Word was with God. and the Word was God. All things were made through him, and without him, look there, nothing was made that was made. Dilemma. Two choices. Both can't be right. Bob the Blob had to start somewhere to evolve. So what did he start with? A brain? How did he know how to start? How do you know what life is? Seeing that God is life. How did Bob the Blob know what life is? To start life. That's a good question. How did Bob the Blob know what life is to start life? I mean, the rocks melted and turned into some kind of soup. Then if they melted, and the soup came alive. Bob came alive. How do you know what life is to come alive? And what did he decide to evolve first? Because he needed to survive by eating something. He needed a digestive system. So what was first? His digestive system? Or his brain? Or his mouth? Because if you evolve a digestive system, how does the food get to your digestive system if you don't have a mouth? You see, simple organisms still need a mouth and a digestive system to survive. So what came first? The mouth or the digestive system? Seeing that we evolved from nothing. That nothing that never knew life. That nothing that didn't know what life was. Suddenly, soup came alive and Bob the Blob came out. And nothing decided it's going to create something. So what did it create first? The mouth or the digestive system? Because it couldn't have created both at the same time, according to an evolutionist. According to evolution. Maybe it was just a set of eyeballs floating around in soup. Or maybe it was a brain. What came first? If the soup came alive, how did it know what life is? Seeing we melted rocks, and out of rocks came life. There's a far better explanation. In the beginning was the Word. The Word was there already. And the Word created a vacuum called space. And then the Word put everything in its place. Perfectly in its place. Spaced perfectly apart. So that the sun wouldn't cook the earth. And wouldn't be too far away that the earth would freeze. Perfectly in its time. And then he decided to put man on this little pinprick in the middle of this big vacuum with thousands of other planets around. And he put man on this pinprick. And he called it Earth. And he created all the animals, he created the heavens, he created the ocean, the fish in the sea. And life came from God. God bless you. May his favor drip from every part of you. In Jesus' name, amen.